Have you ever noticed that the way you begin your morning quietly decides the way the rest of your life unfolds? What you choose in those first moments after waking can either set you free or keep you stuck. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something profoundly sacred about the morning. Not because the sun climbs into the sky, not because the noise of life begins, but because it is the one pocket of time that belongs solely to you. The messages have not yet arrived. No demands have been placed upon you. The world is hushed. And inside that stillness lies a priceless offering. The power to decide how your life will move forward. Most squander it. They slam the snooze button. They scroll endlessly. They rush in a frenzy. And later they wonder why their day feels scattered and out of control. The truth is, you cannot conquer your morning until you conquer yourself. That is the part we rarely admit, because it is far easier to point at the alarm clock, at lack of time, at outside pressures, than to accept that we stand in our own way. Winning your morning is not about flawless routines. It is about granting yourself permission. Permission to stop betraying your own goals. Too many of us live in constant reaction, waiting for some external spark to initiate change. But the morning offers you a chance to declare, I am no longer waiting. I am not waiting for motivation, not waiting for approval, not waiting for the perfect plan. I wake up, I take one small step, and in that moment I begin to reclaim my strength. That step could be as simple as standing up when your body craves another hour in bed. It could be brushing your teeth and greeting yourself kindly in the mirror. It could be choosing water over coffee. Just for today. These are not minor victories. They are evidence that you are finally listening to yourself. Because when you win against your inner critic, your fear, your doubt, that is when you truly win your morning. And winning does not have to be noisy or dramatic. It is steadiness. It is choosing not to silence your alarm because you honor your own time. It is deciding not to open your phone first because you value your peace. It is refusing to let stress be your first companion because you respect your own heart. This begins not with rigid routines, but with respect. Yet, we have turned mornings into a competition. Wake at 5, read half a library, run miles, meditate, do yoga, save the world, all before breakfast. But real victory in the morning is not about checklists. It is about being the kind of person who does not abandon themselves at the start of the day. Ask yourself, which version of me do I want to greet every morning? Do I want to meet the one already exhausted, stressed, restless? Or the one calm, grounded, steady? That version is not gifted by luck. It is built choice by choice, habit by habit. And the very first choice is simple. Will I win myself today? Because your morning mirrors that answer. You can start small. You can start late. You can even start uncertain. But just begin with you. When you honor yourself first thing, life reflects that honor back. Not with miracles, but with clarity, with energy, with confidence. This is not about turning into a new person. It is about remembering who you have always been. Someone who deserves power, peace, and purpose before the world even stirs. Tiny rituals create enormous self-respect. Not because the acts are grand, but because your intention is. Each time you do something quiet yet kind for yourself, without audience, without applause, you prove to your heart that you matter. Not someday. Today, most chase confidence in external rewards. They assume self-worth comes after big achievements. But respect is not a trophy, it is a practice. And it usually begins with something so small, so ordinary, your brain almost dismisses it. That is why most remain stuck. They overlook the potency of little things: straightening your bed, combing your hair, tidying your space, setting your phone aside during meals, stepping barefoot on grass, or sipping water before coffee. And when you show up for these acts, especially when you don't feel like it, you begin repairing something fragile inside you. The quiet trust that says, "I will show up for me." You stop living burdened by guilt and start living aligned with yourself. You begin carrying yourself differently. Not because life shifted, but because you did. You acted as someone worthy of care, not from others, but from yourself. The secret power of rituals is not in their size, but in their steadiness, in their stillness. These are not loud victories. No one claps when you drink water or fold your blanket. No one records you sitting with your breath before you touch your phone. But these quiet choices construct something sacred. They form identity. They whisper, "This is who I am now. This is what I choose." And slowly, you begin to feel safe in your own presence. That safety in your habits, your silence, your company is the soil where self-respect grows. It has nothing to do with perfection or productivity. It has everything to do with being intentional. Every morning, if you do one act, just one, that lightens your body, your mind, or your space, you will begin to feel pride in yourself far deeper than any external applause has ever given you. You will carry a new energy into the day, not chasing approval, not grasping at validation, but moving with the quiet certainty that you are rooted in your own rhythm. And the beauty of this is, you already hold it. You do not need expensive tools, complicated routines, or expert strategies. You need willingness. You need to choose yourself before you give yourself to the world. One cup of tea made in peace. One honest line in a journal. One deep inhale before your feet touch the ground. That is where it begins. That is where respect for yourself takes root. Most wait for breakdowns before practicing these small habits. They think only a crisis grants them permission to care for themselves. But the truth is, you do not need catastrophe. You need a decision to honor the seemingly trivial, the slow, the soft. Because maybe that softness is your medicine. Maybe that slowness is the reminder of your true strength. And maybe when you finally respect the small things, you will see the big things fall into place on their own. The first hour of your day is the filter for your mind. It determines the lens through which you will experience everything that follows. If you begin with chaos, you will spend the day trying to catch up. If you begin with clarity, even difficulties will feel lighter. Many do not realize that their morning is more than a routine. It is a signal to the brain, a rhythm for the heart, a direction for their energy. If the first thing you feed your mind is stress, comparison, or noise, your whole system responds to that. You will feel behind before you have even started. This is why the first hour matters. Not for what you accomplish, but for how you do it. The morning mind is soft clay, still shaping. You can mold it with calm, or let the world mold it with pressure. Every notification, headline, email you check before centering yourself pulls you into the storm. You start reacting before choosing. You surrender your calm before you even have a chance to use it. But protect those first minutes, even just 20 of them, and you build strength. You allow your brain to wake gently, your soul to feel gratitude, your body to breathe before the rush. The self that steps out after that moment is completely different from the one who woke up and immediately grabbed the phone. Mindset is not a button you switch. It is something you sculpt with consistent small choices. And one of the strongest choices is how you treat your morning. You do not need a perfect hour, long meditation, or polished journal entries. You simply need to stop letting the outside world be the first thing to touch your mind. Because what you consume first becomes the filter for the rest of your day. Dip your mind in fear, gossip, or noise, and you will carry exhaustion by mid-morning. Dip it in gratitude, breath, stillness, or gentle movement, and you anchor yourself in a way no one can take. Life will always be noisy. People will disappoint. Problems will come. But your response changes. You stop spiraling so easily. You stop losing yourself so quickly. You remain steady, not because life is easy, but because you prepared your ground at sunrise. That first hour is your training ground, your rehearsal for the person you want to be. Calm, strong, clear, grounded, not flawless, just present. And presence is power. The power to pause before panic. The power to respond instead of react. The power to lead your day instead of being dragged by it. To protect your focus in the morning is not an act of discipline alone. It is an act of love. The moment you wake, distractions rush to claim you. Notifications buzz. Feeds tempt you. Emails sit waiting to trap your attention. And most people surrender instantly. They open their eyes and hand their attention away, then wonder why they feel drained by noon. But if you guard your focus, even briefly, you send a message to yourself: I am not here only to consume noise. I am here to create peace. I am here to set my direction before the world sets one for me. Those early minutes matter because your mind is impressionable then. It absorbs quickly. What you feed it echoes all day. If you dive straight into someone else's urgency, someone else's drama, you lose the chance to meet yourself. Distraction is not just a thief of time, it is a thief of identity. It drops you into comparison, reaction, worry, before you even sit up. But when you delay distractions, you allow space to ask, what do I need today? Instead of, what do they want from me today? That single shift changes everything. You do not need to be extreme. You don't need to toss your phone or live like a monk. You just need a sacred boundary. A few minutes reserved for you. It could be 5. It could be 20. What matters is the choice. The choice to hear your own voice before listening to noise. The choice to greet sunlight, or prayer, or silence before a glowing screen. This is not control, it is care. Care for your nervous system, care for your peace. The more distracted you are, the less connected you feel, even to yourself. That is why people scroll for hours and still feel hollow. But when you delay distractions, you are not missing out. You are tuning in. You are refusing to let urgency steal your clarity. You are refusing to let noise become your normal. That decision strengthens you. It sharpens your awareness. It deepens your creativity. And it roots you in your own rhythm, movement, breath, silence. These 3 hold more power than motivation ever could. Because motivation is fleeting, but these are constant. Some mornings you will not feel like anything. You will wake tired, overwhelmed. And on those days, motivation will fail. But movement, breath, and silence will carry you. Movement does not need to be hard. A walk, a stretch, rolling your shoulders. These simple gestures wake your nervous system and remind your brain you are alive. Breath calms your thoughts, disrupts stress before it snowballs. And silence? Silence is where truth speaks. Most avoid it, afraid of what they'll hear. But silence is sacred. It returns you to your values. It reminds you your peace is an inside job. Together, these 3 are not a ritual of complexity, but a return to basics. They remind you that even on hard mornings, you are not helpless. You may not control the day, but you control how you begin. Movement, breath, silence, they don't require perfection. They require presence. And presence, not pressure, changes everything. The world idolizes noise, speed, perfection. But healing comes quietly. Transformation comes gently. You don't need a perfect morning. You need a present one. Stop postponing peace until everything looks Instagram worthy. Stop waiting to care for yourself until life is less messy. The truth is, presence is not about performance. It is about awareness. It is about asking, how am I right now? And answering with kindness. Some mornings will be chaotic. You will oversleep. You will be interrupted. But presence allows you to still find a sliver of calm in the chaos. One deep breath brushing your teeth. One grateful thought in the kitchen. These details don't matter as much as the connection. You're not copying someone else's perfect morning. You're meeting yourself as you are with compassion. That is power. A present morning teaches you to live present all day. Consistency is what rebuilds trust in yourself. Not because it impresses others, but because it proves something to you. Too many live in doubt not because they cannot, but because they have broken too many promises to themselves. They have said, I'll start tomorrow, one too many times, but every consistent morning, even 5 quiet minutes, rewrites that story. Trust is not built through big statements. It is built through follow-through. Every time you say you'll do something and then you do it, your mind begins to trust again. Slowly, you rebuild. Consistency is not rigidity. It is not about never missing. It is about returning. Again and again, even when life interrupts. Because life will interrupt. Things will fall apart. But if you have one small anchor in your morning, you are never powerless, and the shape of that anchor does not matter. What matters is your commitment to it. That commitment whispers, no matter how noisy life is, I will keep this promise to myself. And that one promise ripples across your day. You make stronger choices. You keep firmer boundaries. You stop abandoning yourself. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. Protection of your focus, your energy, your peace. And mornings are the best place to build it because they are yours. They are quiet. They are the foundation. When you rise with discipline, you carry a calm power, not dependent on perfection, not dependent on others, but grounded in yourself. Yes, some mornings will be hard. You will be tired, but discipline is not about never slipping. It is about always returning, choosing again, until it becomes your nature, until it becomes your peace. Without discipline, mornings shape you into someone reactive and fragile. With discipline, you shape yourself into someone steady, someone who carries unshakable strength into the day. Not because life got easy, but because you got stronger. And that strength was built not in grand moments, but in the quiet decision to rise with discipline every single morning.